G'day, Big V. We are here with our championship women here today, and we are going to discuss the road home. Now, looking at this ladder, it's pretty interesting because off camera or off microphone before, Mark and I were sort of discussing how this looks, and we can probably say with Wyndham, Boleyn, and Sherbrooke being the top three teams right now that they've almost solidified themselves as finalists.
Yeah, and I don't see that order changing with Wyndham already having head-to-head on Bulleen. So even if Bulleen was to upset them in the later round, I don't see that one necessarily changing. So there's your first and second, and I think Sherbrooke probably has a few too many losses at this point to be able to play catch-up. And Bulleen do have them on head-to-head so far. They've played twice and they've beaten them twice. They face off once more in the road home, I guess.
Yeah, so we'll go through the list nice and quick. So you got Wyndham who are on top. They're 14-0. And we're going to highlight a few games as we go through of just, very, what we think are very winnable games. And then some other games which we think will be, close matchups or very, very competitive games, we would think. So, Wyndham obviously 14-0. They got some wins under their belt, which we would probably assume. But they also got Sherbrooke and Boleyn sort of in this middle part, which could be, very, very interesting with the way the Wyndham are playing now, where they're rolling out their second units a lot more now.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, let's not beat around the bush. Wyndham have been the strongest team so far this year, quite comfortably.
I was trying to beat around the bush.
They've got a couple of games there, Sherbrooke and Bulleen back to back, which could be a really interesting weekend or couple of weekends to see if those teams can challenge Wyndham and sort of give them a little bit of a nudge and show them what to expect in come finals time. But Wyndham look in box seat to finish the season off first. The rest of their run, I wouldn't anticipate any of those teams give them too much grief.
No, absolutely. And it is top four here, so Wyndham are probably sort of maybe having a look as to where or who's going to be sitting in that fourth spot because there is opportunity for change.
Well, 100%, Ted. And you start to look at it now. Currently, McKinnon is sitting fourth position. Wyndham have played them twice more in the run home. So they'll be taking notes to ensure that they're ready to go come finals if it is McKinnon who secure that fourth position. They've also got Pakenham and Hume who are in the mix to try and make a last-minute push to try out for that fourth spot as well. So they'll be surveying their opposition very, very closely.
Absolutely. Look, and Boleyn and Sherbrooke, obviously they've got some very, very winnable games there. Boleyn have Wyndham sort of in their middle park. Sherbrooke have Wyndham and Pakenham, Camberwell sort of coming along next. McKinnon are obviously the big ones that we're discussing. They got Wyndham coming up immediately next. They got Pakenham in a few games' time who are very closely on their tail, a team that's going to try and make that push into finals. Boleyn later in the season and then Wyndham to finish off as their last game.
Yeah, so they really need to make the most. They've got a 3-game stretch there, Ted, where they play Hume, Pakenham, Camberwell.
Yep.
If they make the most of that stretch and they can finish that stretch 3-0,
yep,
I think that would be pretty much enough to guarantee them fourth position.
I agree.
The important win over Pakenham will be the one with them closest in that sitting in fifth position at the moment. But that would really solidify their position and make the back end not nearly as important, I would suggest.
Yeah, I agree. Now, looking at Pakenham, they're 5-10 at the moment, sitting fifth. You'd probably think these two next immediate games of Sunbury and McKinnon have to be key focuses for them where they need wins.
Yeah, for sure. And you look, Sunbury and McKinnon, they're the winnable ones because they're going to have to get them because they've got three of the top. They got the top three teams in their run home, which is one of the harder runs we can see on paper at the moment.
Absolutely.
Sherbrooke, Wyndham, and then they have a little Camberwell break in there to then finish with Boleyn. So it's going to be a real stretch for Pakenham, but, they just had a decent win against Campbell on the weekend. They might be going in some form. Hume, Sunbury are another two teams who I can't anticipate what to expect from them, in all honesty, Ted.
Yep.
They've had some games where they look like superstars, and then they've had some other games where they've really disappointed. Sunbury's on the weekend, for example, against fourth place McKinnon, beating them by 15. Where has that been all year?
Yeah.
We just want more consistency from them, and they do have a very winnable stretch of 4 games there. Is it too little too late? Potentially, Ted.
Potentially. And yes, like Emma Pop is back. Yes, it is another inclusion for them. Whether it's going to make that big effect, we don't know. Seeing as if she has just come out of youth league, you would think she probably needs a few more years under her belt, a little bit more experience to have an effect that they need. But, they have Bulleen twice that are not going to be easy. They've got Wynnum and Sherbrooke leading to the end of their season. So, they're going to have to start thinking very, very quickly of getting these wins early to then try and gain some momentum to finish their season strong.
Yeah, try and snatch that 4th position. We'll see how it goes from here.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be all for us today, guys. Keep it locked in, BB. We'll speak to you soon.